You're rocking a Phish t-shirt?
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah,
we
like
never talk
Phish, bro.
we never talk about Phish, man.
You know, I did see Angus William, one of my favorite YouTube, TikTok, Instagram guys from what's it called, like Lazy Friday or something. You know what I'm talking
Okay.
about? Next Friday or something.
I don't know.
What is it? I don't know. They're this really funny sketch group. I saw he was at the Dead show last night, and I like him 100 times more than I did before.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I just lost a ton of crap from my wallet. It fell on the floor. Why do you, what? Yeah, why? Because you realize this guy's a Phish into good music and not just a tool.
Well, it's not just about good music. I found when you find someone who's really into the Dead, it's like there's a whole like world that opens up of like, oh, you think in a particular way, you enjoy a particular type of thing.
Mm-hmm. I like John
You know
Mayer.
what I mean?
I like John Mayer.
Right.
Right.
Right. If he said that to me, I think I'd go, great, cool.
Yeah. John Mayer is amazing, dude. He's
He is
amazing.
amazing.
He's
Yeah.
amazing.
John Mayer's, yeah, I love John Mayer.
And that's why I go to the Dead. But I like Phish and jam bandy music. But the Dead for me is sort of like the equivalent of when you watch like old movies. And people are like, yo, this movie's amazing because it like started it all. And then you watch it, like The Shining is so terrifying. And you're like, this is kind of slow. So for me, that's what the Dead is to sort of the music that it's influenced. I like all the music the Dead is influenced. But when I go see the Dead, I feel like I'm watching an equivalent of the old movie version of jam band music.
So I feel that way about seeing the current iteration of the Dead now. I feel like it's mostly sentimental and it's not really alive in the way
Like the way Bob
Phish-
Weir is not really alive.
yeah. In the way that they should just take his microphone away maybe and move it to the
And
side.
just have him lay down. I can't tell if he's like living forever or on his last breath.
Yeah, he's only in his 40s. That's the weird thing.
Well, yeah.
No, it seems like it's a tribute to something that once meant a lot to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it, and I say that mostly because the shows I go to, I went to a couple of shows. The sound was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh, they must not even be thinking about the experience for the concert goers. They must just be like, if we show up, that's enough.
Well, where did
for
you see
everybody.
them?
I saw them at Citi Field.
So did I.
Straight up, not worth. Like, I left early. Like, it wasn't worth paying.
The sound was that bad?
Like malpractice.
Well, Bob Weir has just really, really gross tone when he plays guitar. You're like, but John Mayer has incredible tone. So it's like a fusion of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like this thing. And then the drummer does this thing where he plays a video game on a bunch of things and you wait for it and these little vibrating strings. And it's just like, and we're all like, it's a good bathroom break moment, not to be a douche. But
So then there's a band called Joe Russo's Almost Dead, J-Rad, that plays, and that feels like it's like happening now. It's like worthwhile to go see and fun and exciting and current.
Is that the Benevento Russo duo? Half of the Benevento Russo duo?
Yeah.
And also Goose. I hear good things about Goose.
Goose is cool. Goose is fun.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
You should see them. I'd be curious to hear what you think.
Well, I've seen clips and I'm like, ooh, damn, these guys are good. They're like tight.
Yeah. I listen to the shows and they're awesome. And then like when I go to a show though, I want to like die and be reborn. You know, I want my head to explode. And they're seeing them it's very possible there's something about it I don't get. But like seeing them, no one's dancing and I'm just like, cool, like fun to be here. The lights were awesome, like the coolest lights I've ever seen. But the music just did not like melt my face off.
I think a lot of people, I think there's been a reputation in jam music that there's a sloppiness that can come with like, you know, I think the Disco Biscuits are probably largely responsible for that, where it's just like not that terribly sophisticated and it's just a lot of and people just are like there for a vibe.
They're looking at each other.
They're just there for a vibe. Whereas, like, if you listen to, like, this really became we took such a different turn here into a different domain that we know pretty well, but it's funny. We never talk about it.
For the 40 people who love this stuff, though,
I'm like early, I was listening to, like, Phish, a 90s recording from, like, mid-90s, late 90s Phish, where they're, like, have something to prove, and they're, like, the tightest ever, and it's awesome. I think Phish these days is a little looser than it used to be. But Goose was, like, a tight version of, like, there are bands that are, like, really tight. And I like that. I like a little more precision and tightness than like people who are just under the guise of creating a vibe, just not that good or not that tight.
I wouldn't say Goose is that. I think they're very good. They just don't have like that transcendent thing. They've also like, when you see Phish, they've been playing together for I think like 30 years now. Probably
Yeah.
I think 87, so almost 40 years. You can't compare them to a band that's been playing together for 5 years.
Right.
Just in terms of the thing they create when they're on stage together. To be fair to Goose, no, they're not. Goose isn't sloppy. It's just
Yeah.
not like moving,
Uh-huh.
for whatever reason.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a conspiracy theory about them, which
Yeah.
I love.
Which is?
That like the powers that be in the jam band scene, like the guys that own the venues, sort of decided Goose is going to happen. Like we'll fill these arenas and small places, or not like these theaters, and they're like, we're gonna make Goose happen. And when you go to the show, you're sort of like, I sort of get that feeling of like, did these guys like earn their way onto the stage? Because it doesn't feel like they fill up this space. It just kind of feels like someone put them here and was like, now you listen.
Nobody can snap their fingers and fill up a huge space no one has that power.
No one has that power, but if you're the guy who owns Brooklyn Bowl across the country, you find this awesome band that people seem to be excited about, and then you figure out a way to get Trey to play with them, all of a sudden they go from like a fun, exciting band that people are excited about to like the heir to the Phish throne. And people are like, I have to go check them out. I heard about them. I have to check them out.
The deeper you dig on these things, the more you discover these people built these audiences. You can't, like, no matter how much money or promotion or marketing you throw at something, if people aren't into it or don't know about it, they're not into it. So
the guy is Bill Gates' son, though.
Oh, okay.
You also have to remember that.
From Goose?
Jared Gates, he's the guitarist.
Jared Gates, the guitarist, who's fully vaccinated. Or actually, Goose is working on a vaccine, and what we're doing with software. I had a Bill Gates one time almost, but I don't quite have it. And what we're doing with vaccines.
Is that what he sounds like? I don't even know.
Kind of.
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's get to the important things.
The important things, Michael. The latest in technology and social media, Threads.